Due to this exchange, she manages to build a team with other educators and contributors to write an article titled Service Learning in an Economic Global Text, which was published in TESOL, Juno, and TELTA newsletter. So you're mostly welcome. Here we go, and you're most welcome.
Thank you so much, Fatima. All right, good morning once again. So, as I was introduced, my name is Mwanaidi Ali Wacha, all the way from Kigoma. Have you been to Kigoma? Anyone who's been to Kigoma? Hi. Hello. Oh, wow. So I feel at home. Yeah. All right. So my session is on.
I'm sorry. Allow me to use Kiswahili. Just 5 minutes. Jamani, this was the main hall ambapo tulikuwa na opening. Tuna rooms zingine ambazo sessions zinaendelea. So I hope wewe uliyekaa hapa you have chosen to attend this session. Ndio? Ndio? Jamani, nasema nitumie Kiswahili. Schedule books tunazo. Ndio? Au tuliopo hapa tuko kwa ajili ya session hii. Tumechagua kuwepo hapa.
Thank you for choosing me. I love you. All right. Quick question. Think of a book you once read. Those who are outside, please come in. We still have seats for you. Think of a book you once read that is no longer taught in school, or perhaps is being taught. What lesson or image from it has it stayed with you? Can you think of one book? It can be plays, a novel, short story, anything I've read. What lessons did it bring on you? What did you learn from it? Reflecting on this question, I feel like I have a lot to share because I've read a lot of books and I love reading. So, can you hear from someone? Luciana, do you want to pass the mic? Thank you.
Who wants to share?
Okay, thank you. My name is Mr. Pastor Musura from Kigoma. The book which I've already studied is Three Speakers, One Husband. I learned a lot about this book. I did know that bride price should be arranged with the consideration of the girl. Not only parents should arrange the bride price, but even the girl should be involved in it. And I think this can be connected with also global citizenship. We need to engage children in the matters which concern themselves, like marriage also, when they become 18 years old and above. Thank you.
Amazing. Okay, some from Tristan Investment, would you like to share? For the book?
Thank you. My name is Tradition from Somalia. I read the book I did not use, which is an African child. It is written by Kamal Rai. Yeah, one of the memories I still have from that book, it is about the way our fathers used the African fathers used to raise their children by that time. Taking from the boy in the novel, he confessed that sometimes he was beaten severely by it. The kind of beatings and raising he gave him shaped him to be a man. of that time. So the book is currently not used, but I have read it almost.
An African Child by Kamala. So perhaps we need to reuse these kind of books in our classrooms. You heard what the man was mentioning. Spelan, have you read a book once upon a time and it's no longer in use and you see the need to do it? We have a book.
Okonkwo was a great president. Therefore, what I learned from Okonkwo, in order to succeed, you are supposed to struggle. Struggle brings success. That's the lesson that I remember and I like it.
Thank you. Can you pass the mic to the gentleman over there? Good.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry. What I learned from the book, things for a country like was the coming of Europeans in Africa. That before they come in Africans had their own traditional ways of life. But once after the Europeans came in Africa and colonized us, they totally changed things. And that was where things falling apart. Thanks.
Thank you. With a great input. Give us to her. Thank you.
Actually, I want to talk about the book that I like the most, and we don't use it currently. That is An Eden of the People. That is the other side of the man of the people. And when we see that Dr. Stockman was trying to reveal what is happening in the society, and guess what? The government decided to go against him because he was telling the truth, and everything was went astray on his side. And after the end of the time, we came to realize the person who tells the truth in the society, he is always disliked. And this is always happening in our society. We have been losing a lot of people due to their strength to stand and speak the truth about what is going on. So I really like the book and I wish it should come. Thank you.
Yeah, she deserves a clap. We are not ready. We are not all ready to hear the hard talks. Thanks to these books, it reminds us that we need to go back in history and relearn something. Can I hear someone from Kenya? Any book that you are using, Ethiopian, in South Africans? Anyone who is here? We want to hear from you. Do you read books? Thank you.
I came late, so I hope I'm going to say the right thing. But yes, we are reading books. One in particular that we have done before is Blossoms of the Savannah. If you're a feminist, you love it. It's about a fight for women, women's rights, how do we treat women, how do we figure out the position of the woman in this male-dominated world. And since I'm a feminist, I love teaching it, because then we can strengthen our girls to be strong in society. Thank you.
Amazing. So thanks to reading this literary work, we have feminists here. I read a lot of books from these brilliant women from Africa and America, and I learned a lot. The woman you see standing before you have been shaped by literary work. So, you know Lawino. This is Lawino speaking. If you have never met Sadiku, here I am. If you have wondering who is Ihoma in the concubine, here I am. Have you ever met Elechilema? I'm here. Yes, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I'm here too. Yes. So there is a power in reading. Reading shapes lives. And this introduced me to the session I'm reading to you, Bridging Timeless Literature in Tomorrow's Voices. AI in Literature Classroom, a Global Teacher Testimony. As Fatma introduced me, I am one of the top 50 finalist teachers in a Global Teacher Prize. Not
wins? No, because I love reading. I love reading and learning always for the best. Like you. So why did I decide to bring this to you? In my classroom, I have turned it to be a global classroom. I know we have improved the curriculum, we are teaching books, but in my own way, I try to bring the timeless literature in my classroom. When you come to my classroom in Changashui, don't be surprised to see or to hear a student knows about Romeo and Juliet. They know it. They practice. Don't be surprised to see they know things for that. It is no longer in use, but no longer in use in the curriculum, but the lessons. Oh, are they no longer in use? What do you do as a literature teacher, as an English language teacher, to make sure that all these beautiful lessons don't go without being used? So, what I want to share with you that I have shared with my students is the following books. So, some mentioned about Things Fall Apart, and one of the great lessons from Okonkwo's despair after the clan failed to rise against colonial rule. That man of action somehow failed because of some issues that happened during the colonial period. When you go to the Mockingbird, my students, especially my access students, have read this book. To Kill a Mockingbird is a famous American novel where you can see and you can learn a lot from it. There is a famous quote in this book that I have learned it by the heart. It is called, "You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view. Until you climb into his skin and walk around with it, that's where you come to realize the true colors of humanity. Not until that. Where did I learn this? From literary work, all the way from America. Can you mention one of the books you read, not from Africa, and what did you learn from it?
Hardy Times by Charles Dickens, in the book written in 1854, reflecting the social life in England. And there is one main character called Mr. Wendy. So reflects people who grow up in the society, but when they get some achievement, they create their own story. So there is a self-fabricated region to show I passed through this and this, but specifically trying to fabricate a specific region apart from the main purpose of the end.
Charles Dickens, famous writer of the book. It's The Heart of Darkness?
No, Hardy Times.
Hard Time. I read something from him too, The Heart of Darkness. One of the books you should never miss. So another book is coming from Shakespeare. Do you know Shakespeare? Have you ever heard of him? All right. Hamlet. My students, they know Hamlet. They have read it and they try their best to learn something, to be or not to be. That's the question. Have you asked yourself this question? Should I do this or should I not? This dilemma is being unfolded from the book Hamlet by the famous Shakespeare. So if you want to know more, you are alive. Always find a place in your classroom heart. Teach these students the timeless power of literary work from the past. A man of the people has been mentioned by Chinua Achebe. My students, they know about the man of the people. I know you're asking yourself, how is she doing it? With the 80-minute session? 40 minutes? No, we do it with love and passion for teaching. If you love something, you will always find a place in your heart to do it. The river between. Anyone read about Ngugi wa Thiong'o? Okay, the river between. What you can learn from this man? Wow. Preserving tradition and embracing modern education. By reading The River Between, we are trying to instill the knowledge into our learners that no matter how educated you are, you should never forget your origin, the roots. So if you are struggling with something in your classroom today, it's because you don't have the roots. The books I'm learning and I teach right now, they all talk about love, love, love. Is the world all about love? No. We need to go back. We need to go back and save our children, our learners. They are missing a lot. Let's go to Animal Farm. Animal Farm, have you read Animal Farm, George? Yay! I did it too. Okay. So this is one of the best in the improved curriculum. For 5 students are going to read this book. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. We are all equal, but there is a limitation. This equality? If you want to know more, go and grab your copy from Animal Farm. My students, especially my access students, they have learned about Animal Farm already. They come to and come to read. So you don't want to imagine these children when they reach university. So, as the last one I want to share that I've taught my students is Romeo and Juliet. As they have even practiced a role play about Romeo and Juliet, I will show you later. Why did I teach them all this? From Romeo, I want them to know that there are some tragedies in life. I wanted to prepare them psychologically, mentally, physically. I want them to know that life is not easy. Whatever way you have decided to choose wisely, because death can be the end result of this. So from Romeo and Juliet, we have a caution tale about passion, family conflict, and youthful haste. Our learners are struggling with a lot of emotional intelligence. They cannot differentiate. They cannot decide for themselves. That is why if I ask you how many students in your classroom they have already initiated love affairs, I don't want to ask you because I can feel it, the sad faces. They already in it. Do they know why they're there? Teach them these books. You are going to thank me later. Fatma, do you want to share this? So, today I want to share with you an AI tool which is called Mind Grasp. So I want to tell you about all right. So Minecraft AI as a cognitive bridge. Why do I want to share with you? I learned this in Dubai where I went to the Global Teacher Prize and they told us about this AI and I saw the need to share with my context, which is you. So we can use Minecraft AI as a cognitive bridge. So now we have all these books I have mentioned. And to be honest, in our classroom, we don't have the libraries. We have some buildings with books in it. Some of us are even struggling right now to have Mabala, the farmer, who has a bus driver. So how are you going to get a hold of Romeo and Juliet? How are you going to get a hold of Hamlet, Animal Farm, and other American books, like To Kill a Mockingbird? The solution is here. You go to AI, which is called Minecraft, which will help you to summarize, very interactive and personalized access. So I will show you how to do it, and once you are in, you have signed up, you are going to ask any book that you want.
Any book that you have read in the past and you see that your students have rights to understand something, you go to Minecraft and you write there. So text summarization. Minecraft summarizes dense text for easier initial comprehension. For example, there are things fall apart, some of which is very long. But with Minecraft, you can summarize it, maybe your students can read something. Interaction. With Minecraft, you can generate question and answers instantly. It even gives you the chance to develop your personalized lessons, provide targeted comprehension support for the diverse learners. Believing that in our classroom we have different students with different or multiple abilities. As global teachers, we need to make sure that in our classroom no one is left behind. So with Minecraft, you can be able to personalize the reading of these literary works. You know them, you are going to discuss with them how do they like it. Do they enjoy pictures? You can prompt and you get the pictures. Are they able to read English on their own? You can go to the Minecraft and you are going to get what you have. So you can see there, Romeo and Juliet, A Man of the People, The River Between, Hamlet, Great Expectations, Kusalikika. This book, we need to bring them back with so much passion and love. No one will ask you if you have to teach them, but if you love teaching, this is a chance for you. Next. All right. So from comprehension to creation, the application staircase. So when you go to this AI, you have the text summaries, the excerpts from the concubine. For example, I am teaching Little English right now, and I'm very fond of it. One of the books we teach in Little English is The Concubine by Elishi Amani. So it has over 13 chapters, more than 200 pages. So you can command this AI and it can give you what you want. And it can help the slower achievers to read and catch up. On the same page, it can give you the character analysis. For example, here I can analyze Lakuli from The Lion and the Jewel. Do you know Lakuli? Who is Lakuli?
Actually, Lakunde is a character from the play The Lion and the Jewel. And what to remember is that Lakunde is a school village teacher who shows interest actually to teach that village, and also he shows an interest of seducing a lady known as Sid. That's what I remember from that book.
Thank you so much. You want to add? What lessons did he teach you?
Yeah, we should embrace our own traditional culture. Referring to Lakunde, after receiving Western education, he betrayed his traditional customs, regarding them as uncouth, uncivilized, barbarian, and so forth. That we should embrace our culture.
Well, from the same text, I have a lesson from Lankule that changes cannot take time abruptly. It needs time. Changes does not take place overnight. It needs time, it needs preparation.
There is a famous quote from one of my favorite leaders in America, Barack Obama, who once said, if you want to change the world, do what? If you want to change the world right now, what do you do?
I think if you want to change the world, teach a woman.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you.
also hear that if you want to change the word, teach a woman, because a woman covers the whole society. A man is always alone. So we know that women always stay with the societies. So that's the most important thing.
Okay, if you agree, can you clap one? If you agree, can you clap two? Who doesn't agree? If you want to change the world, educate a woman.
What I believe, if you want to change the world, start with you. It's begin with you. Because once you change yourself, the others will change or copy what you are doing. And so, like teachers, they are doing to their students.
Be the change you want to see. Be the change. Change comes from you, from within.
And change begins in the classroom.
Wow, thank you so much. And in the classroom is a great workshop of change. So, from my Global Teacher Prize perspective, I want to tell you that we teachers, we need to go beyond the four walls of our classroom. One of the criteria to be selected, one of the millions criteria to be selected in the Global Teacher Prize is innovation. Perhaps we are used to innovation in entrepreneurship, maybe in science and technology, but a teacher can also be an innovator. So can you share with your friend what innovative methodology or tool you are using to your students? Can you share with your friend? How innovative you are. Tell your friend, then you will share with me. Okay, now let us share. If you are ready, please. The madam is coming. The mic is coming. What innovative tool are you using right now in your classroom? Because once you apply for a Global Teacher Prize, you will be asked to share some of these. Okay?
Anyone who's ready to share, the mic is here.
I was just telling Mwanja that I'm sure we all have the heart to do something innovative, but then they keep telling us it's the will and it's your heart. You say that today, but sometimes we get to the ground and that's a bit hard because we lack one or two things. But having said that, I think when we were in ZTEC, we were talking so much about Kenya is changing and we are moving to a more interactive curriculum. So with that, we are being forced to go into AI. And personally, right now, I'm playing around with Gamma so that I can come up with really creative and innovative lessons for my learners. Yes. And when I get the time and I get the space, I allow them to interact with Gamma themselves and create something for themselves. So that's where I'm starting from, and hopefully it will grow to something else. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? There's a hand here.
Thank you. For me, I normally use the program called Kahoot.
Wow.
When I prepare the homework for learner, I normally create question in Kahoot and give learner to do it at home during weekends or holiday. In Kahoot also there is something called Kahootopia, where students can create their own islands with a different question inside, and you can give them to do it during the holiday. So through Kahoot, I'll be able to assess learners' performance and evaluate inside without spending a lot of time looking at the performance of learners inside of the classroom through those activities they're doing in there. And also, I normally give them the paragraph to read and also extract questions and create Kahoot questions where the other learners will answer those questions from each learner in the classroom. So I use that in my lesson. Thank you.
So can we use Kahoot to do literature?
Exactly, yes.
I
can
did.
use that. 100%.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And very interactive.
Very.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Let's go to Howard.
Thank you so much. In my class, and what we will be discussing with my colleague here, personally I use Magic School AI, which I'm an expert of it. Yes, so I really like it because it is interactive. It allows teachers and students to work together. But the most thing that I do is integrating now WhatsApp groups with my students, and it allows even those shy students to speak, because I can give the assignment, they can discuss through the group, and if I want to test his speaking skills, I can allow them now to share their voice notes related to the topic they were discussing. From there, I can test their speaking skills and help shy students also to cooperate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Howard, for the great input. Let's go to Emmanuel, then
Thank you. For the best of my knowledge of thinking, that I sometimes use what we call notebook LL to summarize the book, the whole book, and I give the prompt that I want, and I command it, and it can give me what I want. So students sometimes, I teach English and history, and sometimes I use to summarize different books and help students to reach at the target that I want in the class.
Thank you so much. Another criteria is impact. Quickly share with your colleague what you do in your community, outside your classroom. Quickly, can you share with your colleague? I'm here as a teacher, but I'm doing this. Can you share with your friend? This is another thing you'll be asked in a global teacher prize perspective of a global classroom. You are in the classroom teaching and helping students succeed. Don't leave yourself behind. You need to grow as they grow. So the impact you're going to mention is what came after the innovation. The multiple ways of teaching, your passion, dedication to teaching. This will give you something, people. I'm not bragging, but I received multiple awards in my community in Kigoma for being the best in English language teaching. Not because I perform prayers before sessions, no, because I use a lot of these innovations in my classroom to make my students love what I teach. They always come in handy, they always yield results. So if you go to the national examination results, when any English language subject is among the top 30 nationwide, the best among 1 to 3 regional-wise. So I want you to put all your excuses aside and do the job. You want to be teachers, right? Here we are. Teach with a smile on your face. Right? Yes. So with the global teacher, I'm going to add two more. Another one is global relevance. They want a teacher who is globally acknowledged. If we go outside Tanzania boundaries, who knows you? If you have a friend in India, yay! If you have a friend in US, woo! You know someone from China? You are in contact with someone in South Africa? I have one here. I have friends in Kenya. Whoa, I'm scared. So what do you do with your friend in China? Actually, from likes and comments in Facebook. What else?
I have my friend there in China, and we get in contact when I was studying in the University of Dar es Salaam, when they introduced the officials in ministry there, when I was studying Chinese. We started our friendship until now, and she was a teacher. So up now, we are sharing teaching techniques and a different tools. Thank you.
Thank you. Jackie?
Yes.
Yes, I have a friend in the US. He is my local friend mentor. He's the one who introduced me to Fulbright. Before January. Yes, and he is very inspired by me when I returned to the US.
Thank you. I recently have many friends, over 1,500 friends from the famous Real East African English for Business Entrepreneurship Hackathon. Hi, Hackathon! So, that network, oh, thank you, Lilo. I have many friends from Sudan, from Djibouti, and I'm now learning to be an entrepreneur thanks to that networking by that gentleman over there, the mastermind. So, global relevance. Let me ask you, have you ever been recognized? Have you ever been recognized in a award? Yes. National, international?
Yes.
Please put all your awards in one place. You need to take it proof. Even if it's a handshake from the real, you need to share the picture. Save these pictures. The last one is leadership. I am a leader in Kigoma TELTA, regional coordinator. I work with Africa ELTA as communication coordinator. I am doing what I can do as a leader. So you need to go and explore leadership beyond your classroom. So let's go to the AI that we are done. Can you please search in your engine? Yes. Mind grab. Mind grasp. You can go to Google. When you search engine you are using, type that. Onesmo, can you do me the honor? Thank you. Let us then step by step. I hope you have Wi-Fi. Yes. You want to sign up? Yes. Mind grasp. In my school, you have 20 computers donated by Vodacom Tanzania, and we have a Wi-Fi, so my students are enjoying the global learning. So all this we are doing in my classroom. This is not a theory or assumption. I'm doing it in my classroom. So once you go over there, please sign up. We want everyone to leave this room with this tool ready to be used in the next semester. AI. Sign up. Are we able to do it? Hassan, can you see? Ready? Minecraft AI. AI tool for literature students. They are going to enjoy reading literary works and you'll be surprised. So I sign up, yes. And the good news is it's free. So for teachers, you can access it anytime. Welcome to Minecraft Onesmo. And it's free. Let's create your first study session together. Select an option below to get started. So you have the files, the links, the text, the record. You see the multimodal ways of teaching your learners. So you can go to the first one. Yeah. Fine. So suppose you have a book or you have an excerpt of the book somewhere. You want it summarized. This is where you upload your book and you get what you want. So because of time, I'm not going to show you, but use it. Then if you have a link with any book, maybe you have come across an online reading book, so you can copy the link and put it here. Everything you have it. A text. Or you have heard maybe you have loved a speech from Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie in YouTube, and you want more details on it, come and paste it here. I am enjoying reading from the heart because of AI and innovations. And I want you to go and try it. At your own time, today and tomorrow, grab me anywhere. By the neck, I will show you in step by step. Let me lastly share with you a testimony from my classroom, just a 1 minute clip, then we are done. Okay? Yes. Thank you. Can you? All right. So here my students were role-playing Romeo and Juliet. From the beginning to the end. After reading it, now they were role-playing it. We have Romeo, we have Juliet, and they're going to die. Serious death.
After we say him, and she asked him, my love Romeo, have you come back for me? You take me and we shall go to live together far away. After Juliet, since Romeo had died beside her, and she sees him, she had died. He had died. She found herself with no reason to live.
You are most welcome, and I believe we are going to share. Yes. Let me start with why storytelling belongs in English classroom. Why we are supposed to use stories, why you are supposed to use this story in our English classroom. Here I have two main reasons. The first one is language is more than grammar and vocabularies. Most of us, we believe that once we teach students, we are supposed to impart more vocabularies and grammars. But within English language, there are so many things in which your students can get or can learn from grammar and vocabularies. Here we use this story. Within your story, you can help your student to have so many vocabularies in a story, and the student can learn how to arrange sentences grammatically, because within a story there are so many grammatical sentences in which students can learn. That is number one. Second, storytelling bridges the gap between textbook and English, textbook and reading words. That is, through stories, a student, it helps a student to make a link or to make a connection between what that they learn from the class and what they found in their reading world. That functioning of our story in our classroom. Because most of our students believe that the things they read in the class, they are not functioning in their reading world. That's why most of them, they're doing better in the class. But in case they are going outside the class, they know nothing. They think that they have nothing to express to their fellow, because they don't know things found in outside the class. But through stories, they can connect what they have read in the class and what they're supposed to do outside in the class. Now let us see what storytelling brings to language learning. Or in other language, we can say the impact of storytelling to a language. What are the impacts? We say there is important things, importance to use storytelling in your class. So after using storytelling, what the impact can your student get after seeing or after hearing your story or reading the stories from the students? Here we have some impact. The first one is the engagement. Engagement can draw the student into lesson, making them active participants rather than passive listeners. Storytelling makes the student to engage, to see that they are the party of the class because they be engaged in the story. That is number one. Secondly is retention. Resonant stories are rememberable longer. As we see, our students, they like mostly to hear or to listen stories from others. So through those stories, students can remember more. The story which is associated with the teaching or with the topic you have taught, it is more remarkable or more rememberable to the student. Another is comprehension. A narrative context. Narrative context help learners to have so many vocabularies. Narrative context, all the stories you have to tell your students, it's making the student
what you want your student to have. Another is communication. Through stories, students can communicate themselves. Students that can share ideas. Because you can tell your students to provide the stories, or we say personal stories. What are the things a student wants to share to the students? That is what you can say, communication. Students can share the ideas, they can discuss stories, building confidence. Through speaking, through telling that stories, the student can build the confidence of speaking before their fellow or before anywhere else. And not every story can be valuable, can be powerful in your classroom. There are some stories which is more impact to your student rather than other stories. Here I have 3 types of stories which can be very valuable to your class. Here I have 3 stories which will be very valuable to your class. The first one is folktales and the cultural narrative. Folktales and the cultural narrative. This is the story from the learners' community. The stories from the learners' community, because the story is come from their origin. It will be very attractive to them to listen. So through that attention of your students, it makes them to learn more. Another is personal stories. You can give your students to share their experience, what they have, or what they are doing, or what they did at the past, to share those stories to their students. Through that, students become very experiences, get language relevance and deeply motivation. Another story is cross-cultural stories. The story from another culture. Also, students can learn from another culture. Also, they can be motivated to learn what people from another culture have. That are the 3 stories that you can use in your classroom. Now, I wanted to share with you, did you ever tell your students any stories in your teaching? Yes? And what is the impact of it?
Yeah, I just used it, just using those stories, those on learners, and most of the time they always be more interested because it connects with the real world. So it makes them be more interested, and that helps them.
Yes, thank you. As our fellow said, once you have a story to your class, you make your students be very attractive and see that they are directly connected to the lesson. And how these lessons can build 4 language skills to your students. There is an importance of using stories in your classroom because it helps your students to build the language skills. How can we build those language skills? Here we have listening. How listening build it to your students? Students hear pronunciation, rhythms, and intonations from the story. If you provide the story to your students, students can hear how the words are pronounced. Through that, can build listening skills. Listening can students to hear pronunciation from your stories can help him to build the pronunciation, can be aware of how the word is pronounced, because most of our students, they don't know how the word is pronounced because English is different from our Kiswahili language. The way pronounced is different the way they are written. So through your stories can help your students. The way they listen, they know how the words are pronounced and reading and the intonation in your studies. Another one is speaking. Students return, discuss, and they perform stories. The way you give your students to speak or to give their fellow their testimony, maybe they give them the story about the first day riding an electrical train. The way they speaking, they create speaking skills. Another one is reading. Engaging students with the written narrative and vocabularies also make the student improve their reading skill. Maybe you can give the student a story to read and then answer the question followed after that story. So students will be very careful to read the story. And lastly, you can build the reading skills to your students. Another one is in writing. You can give the title of anything to your students and they want them to write the story. So through that title, you can help your students writing skills. Lastly, I can say that when students see their culture practiced or reflected in the classroom, motivation and participation become rise naturally. Thank you for listening and welcome for questions. Question or if you want to share ideas concerning to my topic, you are welcome. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. I want to share from your presentation provided as English teachers, most of Thai books, those who are written by Thai, contain many stories. The advice, we have to read those stories. Some teachers, they're ignoring the stories and take simple structure, maybe they are telling. Of course, these stories have many contents and play the grid to the students. Why? For example, say you are teaching vocabulary to the student. Imagine maybe for one student. Then there is a story which is maybe contain annual event, for example. In the story, you can get many vocabularies, and those vocabularies can develop all those 4 skills. A student can listen, then can listen to those conversations. The student can acquire vocabularies, then the student can practice with writing by maybe using exercise of what's this, we say, make sentences by using the vocabularies. Or sometimes we say, this student can improve speaking. How? Through those stories. And they learn new vocabulary, can you use them in everyday life, can you use them in everyday, in a context of the school, outside the school. So the storytelling is very essential to every English or every English teachers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam, for your nice presentation. I also would like to join you by making some few additions, especially on what you talked, the kind of stories that may help students understand, and especially gain the skills, language skills, listening skills in particular. If you give the students the stories of their own life or of their own experience, in actual fact, the students are much interested with these stories. So therefore, they are likely to get the skills, the listening skills, some important clues for listening skills. For example, they will be very much attention. So therefore, being attention, they will be gaining the way they have to listen, and even they will be creating much eye contact. You know, understanding something which is very interesting, then they will be just making eye contact to you when you will be just giving them. So therefore, they will be actually conditioning themselves in a proper way of gaining the skill, the listening skills from the stories that you are giving. So I also support this one as a very important aspect that as teachers we have to use in developing students' skills. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, presenter, for a good presentation. I'm interested to hear from other participants, including you, presenter. What's your experience on using storytelling to enhance students' speaking skills or oral fluency, if you like?
Thank you.
All right. Personally, if I teach maybe speaking skills, pronunciation, I can just narrate the story, or I can make them listen to a recorded story, audio recorded story. Then thereafter, I ask them questions. So from those questions, they develop speaking skills and then listening skills. Because they want to answer the questions if they haven't listened carefully. So I develop multiple skills. Thank you.
Also, I have experience from my class because I usually tend to use stories in my classroom. And my technique is I create a story and then I do not finish the story. I provide it to my students and then everybody finish the story in his or her way. This helped me to create a thinking ability of my students, writing skills, listening skill, even reading skill. And then I give the story to my student, as Madam Monaidi said, I guide my students to act the story. This helps them to build confidence and to remember what they have read within the story. Thank you. Another one.
Other participants, please. I'm interested to hear your experience, please.
Another experience is
Yeah, thank you very much. I also use these stories, and in most cases, I usually use my own story. I mean that I usually create my own the story about myself. And my students, they are very attentive because they hear from the one whom they know. So I usually use my background experiences and I usually narrate the story in the class. Whether sometimes I narrate it myself and sometimes I write. I usually use these AIs to create the story, good story, and sometimes it's just the story actually doesn't, I mean that it is not something which has happened to me, but because I'm talking as a one, and you find my students, they are very interesting, they listen, and after I create some questions and they ask those questions, and they answer. It is real work. Thank you.
you very much.
Thank you. I have also another experience from my class. One day, once I enter into my class, I give my student a story concerning to a certain chief in a certain African village who do not want a girl child. And unfortunately, his wife get a girl child. He chased the wife together with the daughter far away from the village. But lastly, the daughter grown up beautiful, and that chief wants to get married for another wife. Bad luck, she meets with his girl and he wanted to get married with him. I told my student that, you know what next? Don't miss in a second session. My students become very attractive with the story. So in the next session, I found most students, even those from another classes. And there, I impart my things which I wanted to talk to them apart from that story, that you can use it as a technique. Thank you. Another? Yes.
Thank you, presenter. In your presentation, you said that there are several impacts of storytelling during teaching and learning, including retention, engagements, and so on. So my question is, is there any negative impacts of storytelling? Is there any negative impacts of storytelling in classroom?
Thank you for your question. Do you want to help? Is there any negative impact of using storytelling in the class? Yes.
Just help. You are trying.
Thank you. Actually, we are saying everything which maybe has an advantages to some extent.
There is a story about Barnabas, a girl who was to be circumcised. So the traditions in her mama's village requires young girls to undergo circumcision. And according to her mama, a circumcised girl is regarded as a respected person, a woman, and can be a wife of a paramount chief. And you know, Barnabas' mother used to call her daughter bad words, including Boka. Boka is a word, it's a taboo word that is not good to be pronounced. So, if you tell that story in your classroom and there is maybe a student who has undergone circumcision, she might feel bad. So sometimes story can affect the students psychologically. It depends on the kind of the story you are narrating to the students and the circumstances and the actions of their experiences in their real life. Therefore, presenters gave us a caution that not all stories can engage students or can make students interested. So we should choose the stories that are balanced. We should choose stories that cannot affect the students' psychological experiences and the life backgrounds. Thank you.
Can I add? Another negative impact is when it's not well guided. Students can be misled and just keep on enjoying the story, laughing, and so forth. So at the end of the day, you have your questions ready to ask.